Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back for some more EVE Online. Welcome also to SiSi, the test server for EVE Online, where in today's video I want to take a quick look at the Stormbringer, the cruiser for the Edencom ships with its own, actually a Tech 2 medium Vorton projector. We got like 2 million extra skill points from the mass test, so I managed to get the skills up to run this puppy. It's actually pretty impressive with high damage. Ammo here, 32 kilometer optimal, 147 DPS. That is not so bad. So I've actually been scanning around a little bit. This could be useful if it's effective enough in taking down some of these smaller targets. I think it's worth it to basically grab a mobile depot or refit in one of the stations. That's basically the plan that I'm going to explore on TQ. Unfortunately, at the moment, I've really been scanning for like an hour, haven't found any good signatures around, but I do have Essential Refuge here, which is like really small targets, and then Essential then a little bit more stuff. I think it can give us a little bit of an idea if we're gonna get some efficiency out of this ships. Being a cruiser, a faction cruiser on top of that, it has access to basically anything that HiSec can throw at us. So let's get started here. We are going to target them, take a quick look at kind of damage these turrets do. That's probably not too much. Here we go, first volley, and it's actually the final target that takes a beating, and it looks like we actually are taking down some of these extra structures. That's interesting. We're going after some of these bunkers and things like that. We're not hitting all our targets, but when we do, one of these frigates is just obliterated from a single shot. That's actually pretty impressive. Let's hit the next sentry tower. Let's see, we're bouncing all over the place. This is actually pretty cool. And there we go, the sentry tower is gone, and then the shot actually takes care of everything as well. I'm starting to wonder what this would look like in a 3 out of 10. That could be pretty amazing, and full wipe of all of these ships as well. Ooh man, this is just complete and utter mayhem because there are so many small destructible targets. There you go, that's one shot, and they're almost done. The second shot should basically clear these guys out as well, which it did. And now we've got a destroyer left over here. The big challenge is probably going to be in, for instance, a 4 out of 10 to do enough damage to the faction cruiser, because that one has actually got a pretty impressive faction rep going, so and really high resistances. We could be in a little bit of trouble there with this amount of DPS. On the other hand, I haven't trained all the skills just yet. In fact, we have Vorton power amplification, 3% extra damage per skill level there. There's definitely the potential to do quite a bit of damage, and so this is that first refuge completely done. Let's head over to the Sancha then, do a quick reload. Look at the reload time here, 5 seconds, really doesn't take that long either. On top of that, 80 shots is a decent amount. And you just saw its Aoe capabilities. I mean, never thought we would say such a classic MMO term in EVE Online, but there it is. This is an Aoe ship, and it's basically here to clear stuff out pretty damn quickly. So on it then we've got extra spawning batteries. We do have like some other bad stuff, some bunkers or neutral stuff that we're going to go after. So let's take a look at the beam here. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Look at it going around, not hitting any of the other targets for us, but indeed going after the bunkers first, which it will eventually slowly destroy. And here you can tell lots of that extra stuff can slow this ship down substantially in PvE aspects, but we do from time to time, look at that, do damage to some of these small extra targets. It really depends on RNGs and the bounces that the Vorton projector decides to take. So let's see if we get a bit of a cleanup done here, and if we can now see the bounces go through all of these ships. It's not super visible, but I think it's doing it. And now we've got our heavy missile battery left. This is it then, right? There's supposed to be a lot more stuff. I thought the waves would be larger, and this is what I wanted to test here, is a cruiser. Let's maybe focus on that one and see what kind of damage we do with the Vorton Projector. Shields are gone in one shot, so that is actually not all that bad. I also have an oversized shield booster, so that is going to help us quite a little bit here. But we are not cap stable, also definitely is something to note. There we go, fully repped, and that's a little bit more what we wanted. 4 targets, more stuff is still blowing up in the background. And there we go, cruiser. Man, he takes the second hit and he gets into armor. And this is, keep in mind again, really far from optimal skills for the weapon system. So this is actually, good God, a decent amount of damage. And then another shot is going to clear these 2 cruisers out without any real problem. Here we finally have a wave of a good size. That's gonna be interesting here. They are targeting me, and yeah, just grab the largest targets, and there, look at that. That is very, very impressive and effective. Gone. And now we've got 3 of them left. That Centaur escaped the Wrath of Thunder several times, but the lightning eventually does strike. Now it's just 4 targets, and we're just constantly hitting all of them. Honestly, a lot of the PvE is designed basically in this way to have like some denser spawns that tend to stay pretty close to one another, and so this weapon system could actually end up being pretty effective in the end. Let's take the next volley. And there we go, we should see all of them hit, and we do. These frigates are half gone in one shot. And the cruisers, these guys are a little bit more tanky. 2 shots for the shields. Another shot, there we go, half armor. And it's gonna be a little bit of an interesting test for the 4 out of 10s. For instance, that one has a pretty tanky cruiser to go through. Clearing the rest of the final room out though should be pretty funny to witness. And look at this, everything is just completely gone. The Vorton Projector just takes no prisoners. All structures, everything just completely obliterated. Pretty impressive in my book here. 30 shots, and this one is gone as well. Let's maybe do a quick round and see if there's anything. So the way I would do this, honestly, if I'd want to make this my exploration ship, I would quickly dock and refit. So I would take everything with me. I'd take a mobile depot just in case of us finding something useful, something good in a system, and there happened to not be a station there. It's probably worth it to then deploy the mobile depot, but it's got a 1-minute cooldown in order to actually use the refitting service. And so as a result, if you get a station, this is probably the best way to do it. But in exploration, especially in HiSec, you're hunting for these combat sites, and so changing the fit is not that big of a time loss if the weapon system works, especially with full skills the way I want it to work. This could actually end up being pretty competitive. So not sure about the graphic here just yet. Doesn't feel like it's really that 3D, to be honest. And let's actually put 8 probes in there. Then we'll undock. So this is the medium Vorton Projector 2 icon. Do we see a little bit more if you press show info? Oh, well, actually it makes sense, because undeployed, it's actually pretty flat in and of itself. So it's more of it shows it when it's not deployed, and this is what it looks like when it is deployed. It actually has quite a bit of an interesting effect right here. Very cool. So that's the Vorton Projector. Maybe, I don't know, could you make an icon when it is deployed? It's gonna look pretty unique, but it actually feels a little bit low res compared to everything else at this point with this icon here. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'm not sure if this fits that well as a weapon system. It almost doesn't feel like a weapon system module icon. It's more like something they would put in a low slot or something like that. Anyways, we'll just do a couple of jumps back towards the Tal, see if I am lucky, and otherwise we might just try another one of these anomalies. But we just saw a refuge. It's not really needed there, and we just saw it then, and I thought it was pretty well performing overall, so I'm pretty happy with it already. Let's see. Oh, we could have done the drone cluster, of course, but I'm sure that there's other stuff. So Sancha Hideaway, data site, that's nothing too good. And we're actually heading back in the Dira direction. That is fine. We'll do Dira, Tashinas, Chunka, and then we'll go back down to Dital if we didn't find anything of value there. It's on the test server, so keep some things in mind, of course. All of this is still subject to change. I'm personally already starting to kind of worry about the DPS that you can reach with full skills and with a build that focuses on damage output, which honestly is not that difficult to do. You have 3 low slots, so through Vorton tuning systems makes a lot of sense. You're shield tanked anyway, so that's where your mid slots are going towards. And what I kind of like is so you have an innate kinetic and explosive resistance profile. If you want to just even it across the board, all you need is 2 rigs for that. So it feels like it's pretty easy to omni-tank this ship. Next up, let's take a quick look at Tashinas. It's my best hope to still find something because it is that out of the way system. In fact, when I was trying to jump to it first, I didn't succeed a couple times, I think because the system wasn't loaded on the test server, and so I'm kind of hoping that it put in some extra signatures there that we could scan, and hopefully there's a good combat side there. Honestly, otherwise, this is a little bit teasery, but the way we handled that then, honestly, if you go in a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10, everything is there. So all of those ships, you don't have to wait for those waves to spawn, and it's just going to wreak havoc amongst their forces. It could be very fast to clear the first room and then to tackle the second room. The only big question is, can it handle the true Sancha ships that are there? So unfortunately, we don't see anything too good. So I'll go back into another one of these refuges. Oh, that is, of course, something that we'll need to get used to then, is that we'll have to refit if we are probe fit in order to do our probing. That, you know, will cost us a little bit of time and a little bit of effectiveness. But if there's a stationing system, I think this is the fastest way to do it, because this mobile depot, which I will take, then will have this 1 minute activation delay. So that takes a little bit of time before you can change the fitting service anyways. And you're not gonna drop it. Or maybe, yeah, maybe you make that part of your routine. You've got quite a few signatures there. Drop your mobile depot so that you're ready to refit. That's a possibility as well. I'm already looking forward to trying all of that on TQ at this point, honestly. It's a cool looking ship, it's a unique weapon system, it's AoE, right? The bane of every MMO actually, because that always tends to end up being one of the most effective ways to run content. So we'll see. We'll see if this is something that'll be let's say competitive with something like a Gila, like an Ishtar. Honestly, the Ishtar with sentry drones, probably the benchmark that I would take. Not full optimization, but having extra bonuses, especially with an all-in-one fit, for instance, which this one could perhaps do, right? Also, mobile depot, cap recharger, switch that out for an analyzer. I'm not sure if we'll have the fitting for that, but there's definitely ways to make that work as well. So very interesting. Look at this, very unique look as well, and yeah, I'm kind of liking it. I'll definitely be training those free skills that we got with the daily login reward. So let's quickly run this site as well here. Take a quick look at how the lightnings bounce on all of these extra items that are in space. You can see that it does go after all of these structures, bunkers, towers, things like that. Get target first, but if you're a little bit lucky, then you actually zap the frigates as well. So that one is taken down. Those two were taken down as a second volley, and let's see if it'll actually also work if I don't target them directly. Look at that. That one is just gone because I was firing at the sentry tower. Very cool. If you're looking for a full cleanup, then this does seem to work. And this is high damage, 32 kilometers, which does mean that if there's one target in range, you can hit up to 80 kilometers away with a very lucky chain. Of course, basically it's optimal, but in these PvE settings that we know at the moment, it's gonna hit everything in the sight. So that's very cool. And look at that, honestly, almost one-shotting these frigates. If we get full skills, we'll definitely be able to do that. And that starts to look pretty impressive, and potentially then enough, in my opinion, to also handle the DPS that's needed for the loot pinatas in some of these sites. So there we go, that one is taken down, and after you've cleaned up all of these structures that are basically targetable, you can then just clear everything out. Look at that, there's gonna be 2 shots for these Devourers, but it's the same for my sentry drones. Of course, I can't really say I'm gonna focus fire on a single target. That won't work. So that could be a little bit of a challenge. But okay, that's gonna be the first look at the Stormbringer, guys. The Edencom cruiser that should be coming to the game pretty soon. And you know me, I'm an explorer at heart, so I kind of look forward to trying and make that ship work. Look at also at the effects on the wings, so whenever it is firing, they're deployed to the outside, neutral when you're not firing at anything, and then when you go in warp, I think it's very cool, they come together in the middle. This is a very, very cool ship, and I can't wait to give it a go on TQ. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.